Hi, I'm Ray Hagar with the Reno Gazette-Journal. Sam Shadd is off today, and welcome to an all-new edition of Nevada Newsmakers. There's talk about moving the University of Nevada School of Medicine to Las Vegas. We got the Fremont Cannon. Paul Enos has the rundown.
Today we'll be speaking with Bill Welch, President and CEO of the Nevada Hospital Association. We'll see what the hospitals have in store for an academic medical center in Las Vegas, and if they're expected to be in the crosshairs the next legislative session. Ray?
And coming up on today's pundit panel, we have Dick Gammick, Paul Mozen, and Derek Morse. So let's roll with an all-new edition of Nevada Newsmakers.
Part by the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center, the world's largest industrial park, the resort at Red Hawk, and the Peppermill family of casinos.
Welcome to the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center, just 10 minutes east of Sparks. We're proud that Walmart and other Fortune 500 companies have chosen Tahoe Reno Industrial Center to relocate their businesses. We have sites from under 5 acres to well over 500 acres, and with all of the amenities that every successful corporation requires. Welcome to the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center, the largest industrial park in the world, and we're building economic prosperity for Nevadans.
Something spectacular has taken wing not far from Reno or Lake Tahoe, and never far from your mind. An escape of fine dining and legendary golf. Introducing the resort at Red Hawk. And at the center of it all, we've feathered our nest with new villas that have elevated Red Hawk to the status of a premier resort. The resort at Red Hawk, a beautiful new arrival in northern Nevada.
As an employer, did you know you can be held liable for negligent hiring? A background screening by Employer Links can uncover criminal records, like alcohol and drug convictions. It can verify the applicant's education, driving records, and professional licenses. Employer Links can check civil records, registered sex offender records, and Social Security fraud. Hiring the right person shouldn't be a gamble. Call Employer Links. Employer Links, protecting your investment.
I tell you, John, this industry has really changed.
Tell me about it.
You seemed to do pretty well last year. What's your secret?
No secrets. Although I'll tell you something. The smartest thing I did was sign up with Pro Group Management.
Really? Yeah, they do workers' comp, right?
Yeah, their services are great. And get this, they saved me 30%. I've heard they saved others 50%.
That works for me.
Pro Group Management. Finally, workers' comp that works for you.
You are watching Nevada Newsmakers.
Welcome back to Nevada Newsmakers. I'm here with Paul Enos, and our guest today is Bill Welch of the Nevada Hospital Association. Welcome, Bill.
Thank you, Bill.
Bill, first thing, what could be turn into a titanic north-south struggle, do you foresee the day when most or all of the University School of Medicine is moved to Las Vegas?
Well, as the Nevada Hospital Association looks at this issue, the Nevada School of Medicine was developed to meet the needs of the entire state. And we are committed to work towards ensuring that the School of Medicine is able to meet all of the needs for the entire state of Nevada. The challenge is with the growth down south, the expansion of the hospital facilities, many of the resources necessary for training the residents and interns are naturally going to be in Las Vegas.
Right.
We would hope that the school maintains a base both in the north and the south. We have submitted a proposal to the university system that would ensure that resources are made available to help that happen.
Now, $45 million is what you're anting up annually, isn't it?
If the proposal, as we have submitted it to Chancellor Rogers, per his request, by the way, would increase what we are already contributing, and I think that that's an important fact that the public should understand. The hospital community is not coming from nowhere at this point in time. The hospital community has been working with the School of Medicine since its inception in the late 70s, and has been contributing millions of dollars annually. Currently, we're at about $22 million annually that we support the School of Medicine. We would increase that to $45 million, as we would increase the internships and residency programs by an additional 250 slots over the current status, which is somewhere between 130 and 150 slots.
Okay.
So you're doubling what you would basically be doubling the money that you're giving now.
That would be correct. What would also be important to understand that is an approximate amount based upon the average cost per resident. That average cost nationally is $50,000 or thereabouts. Here in Nevada, we're seeing that cost is more along the lines of $54,000 to $58,000. So you can take the 250 and multiply that out, and that's how we came to the number of $45 million. On the other hand, we certainly see a number of areas that the School of Medicine could move into as far as training new types of physicians that they currently do not train. And as those evolve, our contribution will evolve proportionately. So if the program were to go to 300 additional slots, our contributions would go up proportionately.
Now, we've heard a lot of news about the University of Pittsburgh Medical Center wanting to come into Las Vegas. This plan that you're coming up with would be in competition with that, correct?
Well, the newsmakers seem to know much more about the proposal from the University of Pittsburgh Medical Center and the discussions that they're having. I personally have not seen any proposal. I understand that there is a general proposal out there. And I suppose you could look at what we are proposing to the university system as competition to that. What we see our proposal is not competition to that, but our continued commitment to support the School of Medicine and to ensure that our School of Medicine here in Nevada is controlled by Nevadans. The School of Medicine here is to meet the needs of Nevada citizens and those who visit our state. And we feel that it's important that as it evolves, grows, expands, that we in Nevada should be making those decisions.
Okay.
And that's what our proposal is committed to support.
Well, Bill, this goes to the heart of the debate here, is that should Nevada buy their academic medical center by partnering with the University of Pittsburgh, or should they grow it by getting together with local doctors and developing this medical center over time?
You know, there are many uses for the term of academic medical research center. Now, if we're talking about an academic medical research center hospital, we have many fine tertiary hospitals, facilities in this state, both north and south. Those services provide all of the varied opportunities for clinical experience that is necessary for a quality School of Medicine training program. If you're talking about an academic medical research facility for training and education, there are currently facilities that are available that, with minimal investment from a capital standpoint, modifications, certainly could do much to improve the facilities that are already currently being used.
Well, let's talk about that investment for a minute. We're looking at a huge investment in the University of Pittsburgh Medical Center coming in here, correct?
Yes, it would be a huge commitment. The question is
about $700 million or so?
The cost for building the type of academic medical center hospital that has been being discussed with the University of Pittsburgh Medical Center is minimally $400–500 million and could easily be as much as $700 million plus. The question is, and you talk about their proposal and what they're offering, I have not seen anything that would suggest that they are offering anything other than to come into the state of Nevada and take over a facility that the community, Nevadans, would have to build from the ground up at their expense 100%.
Okay, we'll leave it right there.
We'll be right back. We'll be right back after these messages with more with Bill and the Nevada Hospital Association.
For a videotape copy of any Nevada Newsmakers program, call 775-857-2244. The tapes are $20 each, including shipping.
For more than a decade, the Southern Nevada Water Authority has been helping the community embrace conservation as a way of life. That includes replacing more than 50 million square feet of grass with water-smart landscaping. During the worst drought on record, watering restrictions and tough landscaping codes have reduced the community's water use by billions of gallons, even as thousands of new residents were moving into Nevada. That's smart water management, and that's our promise to Nevada.
Reno's best dining values are all at one casino, the Pepper Mill. You can enjoy great savings on our popular specials. Pepper Mill's coffee shop offers daily lunch specials, low-carb dining, and all your favorite comfort foods. You'll find sensational lunch specials featuring Reno's freshest seafood, sushi, pasta, and more at Oceano. And early bird specials at Reno's Premier Steakhouse and Romanza Ristorante Italiano. The best values are at the Pepper Mill. Where are you dining?
Island Inkjet is now open on South Meadows Parkway. Island Inkjet will refill your inkjet cartridges in just 1 hour. We have the ink to precisely match over 240 cartridges, saving you up to 60% on the cost of buying a new cartridge. Our work is 100% guaranteed, and contrary to what you may have heard, refills do not void any printer warranties. You don't throw out your car when it runs out of gas. Don't throw out your cartridges. Refill them at Island Inkjet on South Meadows Parkway by Smith's.
The materials we rely on every day come from the ground, and modern mining technology brings them to us cleaner and safer than ever before. To learn more about America's natural resources, visit nma.org, the National Mining Association.
And now, back to Nevada Newsmakers.
Hi, welcome back to Nevada Newsmakers. I'm Ray Hagar with the Reno Gazette, Paul Enos, co-host, and we're here with Bill Welch of the Nevada Hospital Association. Bill, would you continue your thought on the University of Pittsburgh Medical Center?
I'd like to be clear that we have no opposition to the University of Pittsburgh Medical Center coming to the state of Nevada. They're a very fine institution. They do a good job. If they would like to come into the state of Nevada and invest in this state, the same as all of the other hospitals, both private, for-profit, not-for-profit, and public hospitals, we would welcome them. Our concern has been the approach that has been being suggested. So I'd like to say for the record that we have no issue with the University of Pittsburgh Medical Center. It's really an issue with how the proposal has evolved.
Okay, now Friday's University Board of Regents meeting, the Chancellor Jim Rogers will give an update on this negotiations with the University of Pittsburgh. But he's also going to talk about the Clark County Medical Association's proposal to take the School of Medicine away from the University of Nevada and UNLV and put it under like a health sciences czar that would report solely to the chancellor. How does your association think about this?
You know, we're not involved in those politics. As long as the School of Medicine would continue to operate both in the north and the south, whether it's under a new leadership structure or the current structure, is really not an issue that we are interested in being involved in.
Okay. Let's talk about some of the issues that came up during the last legislative session. The hospitals this last session seemed to be attacked much like the banks were in the 2003 session. Can you tell us what went on?
For whatever reason, Paul, we became the target of many pieces of legislation. We called it the bad legislation of the week because it seemed like there was a new piece of legislation. What generated the interest, I really can't say other than we were a good political agenda to pursue.
I mean, they love to attack the fact that hospitals were making profits. And can you tell us a little bit about the profitability of the hospitals?
Well, you know, that's an interesting point. Yes, the hospitals have made a profit. However, we have one of the lowest profit margins for a hospital industry statewide than any other area in the country. We are about 50% less than what the national average. The national average runs a little bit over 4%. And if you look at the data submitted to the state, which is required to be submitted by the state, I might point out, by each hospital, our profit margins in Nevada is running about 2.2%, and that varies from hospital to hospital, and that will also vary from year to year. But I don't think that making 2.2% is something that an industry should be necessarily embarrassed about, particularly when you look at the fact that the hospital industry in this state is predominantly driven by the private sector, not the public sector. Our politicians, our elected officials, have made the choice that they do not want to fund the building, the equipping, and the staffing of hospitals. That's pretty apparent when we look around the state of Nevada and we see fewer and fewer public hospitals in the state. Now, and in fact, during the session, it was testified by legislators that we have one of the lowest percentage of public beds versus private beds. That is a decision that elected officials make. That is not a decision that the private sector makes.
However, the private hospitals are still required to serve anybody who comes to their emergency room. They're still required to have a certain percentage of their patients be indigents, correct?
We're the only component of the healthcare delivery system that is required to see any patient who presents themselves by federal law. We do not have the ability to choose or pick who our patients are. Certainly, we go out and try to negotiate contracts with payers to get a stream of patients coming in. But any patient who presents themselves to our hospital ER must be evaluated for their medical condition. And if they require ongoing additional care, we must provide that or make arrangements for it.
Well, Bill, we were talking about hospital profits. Back in the 80s and early 90s, it seemed like hospitals had a heyday. You were up to 6% profit. Now you're down to 2.2. Insurance costs are going up. The cost of going to the hospital is an arm and a leg. Now it seems like it's a perfect storm for anarchy with hospitals and insurance companies.
Well, you know, you're right, it is. Keep in mind, we also pay insurance.
Right.
So it's, as those costs go up, those costs also impact us. As our medical malpractice insurance premiums go up, and we know what has happened in that area in this state over the years.
Was that fixed, just sorry to interrupt you, was that fixed with the special session in 2002?
I think that there was steps towards helping relieve the problem, but an issue that has evolved over many, many years cannot be turned around with one session. When you look at how insurance premiums are set, they're based upon actuarial evaluations of risk, and we still continue to have to fund all the risk that we were potentially at risk to for services provided up until then. So, because any case prior to 2002 would still be under the old law. So it certainly was a step in the right direction. The ballot issues that were passed during the 2004 elections, those certainly questions 3, the 3 and 4 also help. But it'll be 5 to 10 years really before we see any relief from that.
Okay, you know, getting back to this issue of moving the University School of Medicine down to Las Vegas, it just seems so logical to me, because down there you have the largest hospitals, you have the Ruvo Alzheimer Institute, you have the Nevada Cancer Institute. What's the logic of leaving half of it up here, or the administration up here?
You know, there's a couple things, again, from the clinical experience. We have 2 hospitals up here in the north that also are very good hospitals that are working with the School of Medicine, Washoe Medical Center, and also the VA hospital. Both of those programs contribute significant amounts of money and support to the School of Medicine. And it provides another opportunity, another type of patient mix that the residents and the interns can get experience from. And again, if we go back to what the purpose of the School of Medicine was, that was to train physicians to meet the needs of the entire state of Nevada.
Well, that's where we're going to have to leave it. Thank you very much, Bill Welch, Nevada Hospital Association President and CEO.
Thank you.
We'll be right back with our pundit panel, and we're going to talk about some education bombshells in Washoe County.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
Corporations moving to the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center require reliable power, fiber optic communication, and clean water sources. And yet, there's another amenity we're very proud of here at TRI, rail service. So far, we've built over 2 miles of railroad track, and another 3.6 is under construction. When companies need to transport freight, we're going to help them move it quickly and efficiently. Welcome to the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center, the largest industrial park in the world, building economic prosperity for Nevadans.
The Nevada Beer Wholesalers encourages the responsible consumption of beer. The Nevada Beer Wholesalers Association are sponsors and participants in many community-based efforts such as school education programs, safe ride home, recycling programs, alcohol-free after-prom and graduation parties, safe boating campaigns, and designated driver programs. They are family-owned businesses employing 2,000 Nevadans. They also collect and pay the state excise tax. The Nevada Beer Wholesalers Association, delivering more than just beer.
My family started this business 27 years ago.
We work hard to serve our customers and our community.
But it's getting harder and harder to keep the doors open.
For example, our workers' comp is going through the roof. Isn't anyone on my side anymore?
The Retail Association of Nevada is. If you're a small business owner, we can cut your workers' comp by up to 50%, lobby for your interests, and keep you informed. Put us to work today.
Something spectacular has taken wing not far from Reno or Lake Tahoe, and never far from your mind. An escape of fine dining and legendary golf. Introducing the resort at Red Hawk. And at the center of it all, we've feathered our nest with new villas that have elevated Red Hawk to the status of a premier resort. The Resort at Red Hawk, a beautiful new arrival in northern Nevada.
You are watching Nevada Newsmakers.
Thanks for returning to Nevada Newsmakers on today's Power Pundit panel. On the far right here, we have Dick Gammick, Washoe County DA, Dr. Paul Mozen, political activist, and Derek Morse of the Regional Transportation Commission. Thank you, gentlemen, for being here. Paul?
Dick, real quick, you said you wanted us to ask you about the Scott decision. Will you elaborate on that real quick?
A case came out of the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals last week that's going to have some really major ramifications. A guy named Scott agreed to waive his Fourth Amendment rights to search and seizure in exchange for his release on an own recognizance or OR release. The judge signed the paperwork, as we do every day throughout courts throughout this country. The Judge Hagan first had the case in district court on a suit that it was a violation of Fourth Amendment. He upheld it as a violation. The Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals upheld his decision. So basically what that means now is people that you're looking to letting out of jail on OR releases under conditions, we don't know if we can enforce any of the conditions now, so OR releases may just go down the tube and people don't get out of jail unless they can post bail. Big ramifications.
He waived his search and seizure rights after the arrest? Is that?
Yes. In order to get out of jail, the judge said, I'm going to impose these conditions on you. He agreed to them, let him out of jail, and then he came back fighting the conditions. Because obviously there was a search and some stuff was found. He was in more trouble.
Will that be appealed, Dick, do you know?
Oh, yeah. I've talked to the U.S. Attorney Dan Bogdan, and they fully intend to appeal it back to get a en banc. This was a 3-judge panel. They want to go back to the entire Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals because it has some major ramifications.
Well, let's kind of talk about.
No wonder Jackie Crawford resigned as the prison director.
Kind of staying in that same realm. Yesterday, our senior senator Harry Reid announced that he will be voting against the confirmation of Judge John Roberts.
Yeah.
Derek, do you have any comment on that?
Well, I think you have to look at his comments in context. He made it very clear that he was going to be voting against him, but he also said that they weren't going to filibuster in effect, and that everyone should vote their conscience. And I think that's proper. I don't see any problems with that. He heard what he heard. He obviously didn't hear some things he wanted to hear during the testimony, and so he's making his decision. I think that's a responsible thing to do.
This is why I changed my party affiliation. The Democrats cannot seem to get their act together to vote no on a fairly moderate, I mean, this is about the best you're going to get from Bush, a moderate candidate, to vote no just to vote no because he's on the other side. It doesn't make any sense. We could get someone worse if they don't put him in.
So you changed your party? What are you, libertarian now?
Democrat Gammick.
Do you think that this is a signal that Harry Reid isn't so much the independent from Nevada anymore, and he's playing the political Washington games a little more than you would think he might?
Well, you would think that until you talk to him, and then he is very good about offering an explanation on what he does with federal judges and confirming them and how many he has and how many he has. I mean, he's got all the stats laid down beautifully because
like
I have
getting
asked him
Brian
that
Sandoval out of the state and possibly prevent him from running against one of his sons.
He's still in Carson City.
We're still waiting, with bated breath for that to happen. I talked to Brian the other day, and of course he's waiting too to see when that's going to happen. But I do appreciate the fact that they're not filibustering this one. I mean, at least they're accepting it to that extent. This individual seems to be a very well qualified man. He will not answer their questions on what he's going to do in the future because he's not allowed to do that. And for them to keep pounding him and keep asking him is just crazy because he's not going to.
And he shouldn't do it.
And I think it's pretty disingenuous with a lot of the Democrats on the panel who, when Ruth Bader Ginsburg was up for her confirmation hearings, they weren't pressing, they weren't prying with her, but when you get a Republican in there, it's like, let's go after him. And I think you have it on both sides.
They were pressed. They tried, I'm sure. They tried.
It's always been partisan. If anyone's surprised by that, I'm sorry. We need to start back at the beginning. But Roberts is old news now. The real issue is who's going to be the second nominee?
Who's the next
there? I mean, I think Roberts, it's a done deal. There's no question about that. Who's going to be the second nominee, and that's going to be extremely critical.
Perhaps Harry should have saved his vote for the second nominee. His no vote.
One thing about Harry Reid, he's bringing pork to Nevada, so you got to love that.
Well, not as much pork now with Hurricane Katrina.
Oh, then that brings up a good point. You know, a lot of senators are coming out now and saying we're going to cut our pork so we can get some money down for relief in New Orleans, and I think that's a great idea.
Derek, how's that going to affect the highway bill that Bush just signed last month?
You know, my prediction is that there won't be anything cut. You know, understand that what people call pork, and everyone has that perspective when it's someone else's money. You know, in Nevada, there's not pork. These projects, or this money is going for projects that are needed in the fastest growing state in the nation. We've got huge needs. And in most other states, that's true too. Now, you can always find a project here and there, but I just don't see anyone giving anything up there. I think the real question is going to be is how are you going to pay for this relief? They've talked about taking money out of the Iraq War, which I don't think is practical. They've talked about withholding the tax cuts. I think that's an option that will come up for a lot of discussion. But this is a big hit. In one event, we are going to be paying what the entire Iraq War costed, what 2 years of the highway bill is costing us, and there's another one perhaps on the way.
Okay, let's stop right there real quick. Ray, you teased a story at the beginning.
It looks like the Washoe County School District could be $6 million short. They might have to lay off as many as 90 teachers and administrative personnel, and it all comes down to the fact that people with kids are not buying these new homes in Reno. The enrollment is not going up in Washoe County. That's all we got to...
That's pretty broad brush to be painting that with. People with kids are buying new homes. People with kids, all you got to do is just watch what's going on. Maybe not as many as they expected, but they're still buying them.
Okay, well...
Maybe we should lay off the people who made the estimates and then...
Well, I got to give that guy props.
That's all we have time for today. We'll be right back after this.
It was a conservative...
Nevada Newsmakers, brought to you in part by the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center, the world's largest industrial park, the resort at Red Hawk, and the Peppermill family of casinos.
South Reno's hotspot for food, fun, and friends is the Tamarack Junction. Play over 480 of the hottest slots and video poker games. Enjoy hot times and sizzling food specials at Sully's Sports Bar, Grill, and Nightclub. Watch your favorite game on one of our jumbo high-definition plasma TVs. Enjoy great food 24 hours a day in the Dining Car Restaurant. Or sample the best hot and cold sandwiches in the Whistle Stop Deli. The Tamarack Junction is your junction for fun. South Virginia and Amati Ranch Parkway. Yeah.
Island Inkjet is now open on South Meadows Parkway. Island Inkjet will refill your inkjet cartridges in just 1 hour. We have the ink to precisely match over 240 cartridges, saving you up to 60% on the cost of buying a new cartridge. Our work is 100% guaranteed, and contrary to what you may have heard, refills do not void any printer warranties. You don't throw out your car when it runs out of gas. Don't throw out your cartridges. Refill them at Island Inkjet on South Meadows Parkway by Smith's.
Hey, thanks for watching Nevada Newsmakers today. You know you can see all the shows by logging on to NevadaNewsmakers.com. Paul, who we got going on tomorrow?
We have former Congresswoman Barbara Vukanovich to talk about her new book.
And she wants to be Congressman Vukanovich, not Congresswoman.